So, most people, when they hear the words penguin tariffs, they laugh. Howard Lutnick did not. He didn't smile, he didn't hesitate, he didn't even blink. Because when you work for Donald Trump, that's the job. You don't question the mission. You don't challenge the plan. You don't wonder if maybe, just maybe, things have gone too far. You sit there in front of cameras and you defend tariffs on penguins. It started with a list. Trump's list. A sweeping, sprawling tariff plan designed to target anyone, anywhere, who might dare to challenge America's greatness. Tariffs on China. Tariffs on Europe. Tariffs on Australia. And somewhere, buried deep inside this political fever dream, there it was. Heard Island and McDonald Islands. Remote, frozen, inhospitable, population 0. Well, 0 humans. Because the only living creatures out there? Penguins. Thousands of them. Standing there, wandering around, living their best penguin lives. And according to the Trump administration, they were now officially part of the global trade war. Reporters were stunned. Lawmakers were confused. Australians were baffled. The obvious question hung in the air like a bad punchline. You're not seriously imposing tariffs on penguins? And that's when Howard Lutnick stepped forward. America's Commerce Secretary, Trump's hand-picked man for the job, and possibly the most committed yes man in the history of economic policy. He didn't laugh. He didn't stumble. He didn't even blink. Instead, Howard Lutnick explained, in the most serious tone imaginable, why the penguins had to pay. No countries left off, he said, dead serious. No countries left off. It didn't matter that the islands had no people. Didn't matter that the penguins weren't exactly operating a shipping hub. To Howard Lutnick, that wasn't the point. The point was loyalty. Absolute, unshakable loyalty to Trump's trade vision. Somewhere in Howard's mind, a scenario existed. A nightmare scenario. A world where China, desperate to dodge Trump's tariffs, loads up a cargo ship, sails it into the frozen wasteland of Heard Island, sets up a penguin-friendly factory, and starts exporting goods under the radar. Could it happen? Would it happen? Absolutely not. But was Howard Lutnick going to take that chance? Not on his watch. Maps were shown. The islands were displayed. And there they were. Empty. Desolate. Wind-swept landscapes of rock and ice. And somewhere out there, just off-screen, penguins. Howard Lutnick didn't flinch. No countries left off. Because in the world of Trump's tariffs, anything less would be weakness. It wasn't just a policy. It wasn't just a strategy. It was a mindset. An all-consuming, logic-defying, loyalty-above-reason mindset. Where if Trump says the penguins might be a threat, then by God, they might be. Somewhere in Washington, an aide probably leaned over and whispered, "Sir, it's just penguins." And Howard Lutnick probably leaned right back and replied, "Not if we tariff them first." This is what happens when loyalty outpaces logic. This is what happens when defending Trump becomes a reflex. This is what happens when the trade war gets so big, so ridiculous, so untethered from reality, that even penguins end up in the crossfire. Australia reacted like any sane country would. Confused, amused, and maybe a little bit concerned. They know those islands are uninhabited, right? They know there's nothing there but penguins. But Howard Lutnick didn't care, because in Trump's world, optics are everything. Leaving even one rock untariffed? Might as well hang a welcome sign for China. And so there he sat, In front of cameras, in front of reporters, in front of the world. Howard Lutnick, Commerce Secretary of the United States of America, defending tariffs on penguins. Most people would have laughed. Most people would have paused. Most people would have said, maybe this isn't the hill to die on. But not Howard Lutnick, not Trump's guy. He stared straight into the camera, straight into the absurdity, and said the words no one thought they'd hear. No countries left off. No countries. No people. No exceptions. Not even penguins. In the end, Howard Lutnick didn't just defend tariffs on penguins. He made it sound like policy, like strategy, like survival. That's not economic genius. That's not trade policy. That's a man lost at sea, arguing with birds. This is the irony, and that's the irony. So, disclaimer. This video is a work of satire and fiction. It is intended for entertainment purposes only and should not be interpreted as fact, news, or a representation of real events. Any similarities to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events, is purely coincidental.